Hey folks, Mark here, and in today's video I'm going to explain why I've just changed my YouTube channel name, because yes, I am guessing the more astute of you out there have already noticed that it just changed yesterday from AgingJedi to MarkGFL. Now, why have I made that change, and what does the GFL stand for? Well, I'm going to come to the new name and logo in just a moment and explain my thoughts behind that. But first off, I'm going to have to explain why I felt there was a need to change from AgingJedi in the first place, and a couple of the issues I've run into using that as a channel name since I came up with it. But don't worry for people who really like the name AgingJedi and are quite keen on the logo as well, because it's not going to be gone for good, and I'm going to explain why later on in this video. So you guys know the history behind AgingJedi, right? And how I came up with the username? No? Well, in that case, there's a link down in the description to a video explaining it all. Do go check it out. It's quite an interesting tale. But why I picked it as a YouTube channel name? Well, it was kind of a statement. You see, I'm in this for the long term. And I've always been a fan of, well, yes, I've been a fan of Star Wars, but I've always been a fan of video games ever since I was a kid. I've been playing them for over 30 years, and I intend to still be playing them in 30 years' time, if I'm still around. Whether you guys are here watching me or not, well, that's going to be another matter. But yeah, I've always enjoyed games, and the AgingJedi thing was kind of a statement to say that, yeah, you know what, I'm going to be around a long time doing this. I'm in this for the long term. Yeah, well, kind of that, and also just kind of the fact that I was short on ideas for a YouTube channel name when I created it. I've always found that one of the hardest things to do when you're creating a new character in a game, be it on a computer or a D&D game or something like that, pen and paper game, or just a username for a forum. I found it pretty difficult coming up with something unique, and YouTube was no different. However, there's been a few problems I've run into with AgingJedi over the last few years, and the most obvious one, and probably the thing which prompted the initial decision for me to at some point change the YouTube channel name, was the fact that, yeah, it's got Jedi in the title, and as soon as I try to print that on a t-shirt or a hoodie or something to sell, then that kind of flags up some issues. And I did try to create a storefront once on one of the online stores that print t-shirts and stuff, and no, calling the storefront AgingJedi, no, couldn't have it, wouldn't have it, copyrighted. So that was the issue that kind of alerted me to it. This wasn't a problem, printing this off for own personal use, that wasn't an issue at all. But yeah, going forward, I decided then that something would have to be done. But that wasn't the only reason behind me deciding to change. See, one of the other things is that when someone comes to my channel, they see the name AgingJedi, and it doesn't really give any clue as to either who I am or what the channel's about. You might think that the channel was somehow Star Wars related, and it isn't, and unfortunately there isn't even any decent Star Wars games out that I could feature on the channel, because that was one of my intentions, of course, way back when I started YouTubing, that I would, because I like playing Star Wars games. There just haven't been any for a few years now that are really worth playing. And so, you know, it's not related to the channel or the theme of the channel in any particular way. And also, more recently, one little issue which has started to get to me a little bit. You see, obviously, you guys call me Jedi when you're talking to me in the comments, and you call me AJ, which is all right. It's not really me, but it's all right. But I've been starting to get called Aging. People are referring to me as Aging. Hey, Aging, what do you think of this? Hey, Aging, which tank do you like in World of Tanks? And that kind of sounds and feels a little bit odd. It's a weird thing with us blokes, isn't it? When you're young, you just want to be thought of as older so you can go and buy your first beer or something like that. However, as you get older, you don't particularly like being reminded of it. And being called Aging and the name AgingJedi, it does make me sound older than I actually am, or at least older than I want to be and pretend to be and act like. And a few guys who've met me at Tankfest have expected me to be a lot older than I am because of the AgingJedi name. So all in all, AgingJedi, as much as a lot of you guys have liked it, it was probably a bad choice of name for a YouTube channel, and it doesn't really describe me so much, or the channel, or anything else, as cool as it maybe was. So it's been time for a change. And that's where MarkGFL comes in. Now, it did take me a little while to come up with the name, but it's obvious why it starts with Mark, because that's me. You can call me Mark. I mean, you can still call me AJ or Jedi or whatever else, but, you know, I am Mark. That's how I talk to people and refer to people, and they call me back. So you're welcome to call me that. In fact, you're welcome to call me whatever you want, to be honest, as long as you're commenting and watching the videos. I don't really mind too much. But yeah, it's suddenly a bit more personal, and I like that because the channel's more about me. Now the GFL, well, that, as a lot of you have guessed, is gamer for life, because I am a gamer. I intend to be a gamer for life. I've always loved playing video games, and that just sums it up. Perhaps some of you guys are gamers for life as well. If that's what you've always loved and always want to do, then hey, you'll fit right in here. And of course, it gives the exact same message that I'm in this for the long term. I'm here to stay, and I'm going to be doing this for years to come because it's what I love. So that explains the name change and the reasons behind the new name. But what about the logo? Well, it's something a bit more personal. You can see the classic joystick in there. That is something that I grew up playing on arcade games, video games at home. Had one of those for the Amiga. That was those were the good old days of gaming, and which kind of also describes me as well. A little bit retro, because yes, I grew up in the golden age of arcades and video games, and I do think back to those days with very fond memories. Although if you actually go and play old games now, they feel pretty dated. But hey, it's about what we remember them like, right? And also, you know, I might have a little retro section on the channel someday of playing old classics from the good old days of video gaming. So that was one of the reasons I wanted to use the joystick in the logo, but also that logo, that it is just me. It's mine. It's unique. If I want to, I can stick that on sweatshirts or t-shirts or mugs or whatever else and sell it. But the good news is that it's not just limited to that. You see, we've got the official white logo. That's the one I've picked as the official one. However, it also comes in black as well. And the good news is that I can have any color variation, any type that I want. I can take the writing off. I can just have the joystick logo. I've got a load of different colors lined up that I really like, and I can just print off and do anything I want with them. No restrictions, no copyright issues, nothing. And that's probably the main reason that started this change in name, but also the whole thing just feels like it's mine now, like I own it. I'm not piggybacking on someone else's property or taking ideas for names from someone else. This is just me. My imagery, my name, my channel. You guys are all part of it. So yeah, there was probably never going to be a great time to change the name. I know there's going to be a few of you logging on now thinking, who the hell is this Mark guy? I don't remember subscribing to him. So I'm going to leave the old banner art on the top of YouTube and Facebook and stuff. I'm going to leave that up for a while. And when I replace it, I'll probably have something with formerly known as, or the YouTuber formerly known as AgingJedi. That might be pretty cool to put on. But I'll have something on there. And it's going to be quite a sort of interval period of just breaking in when I completely get rid of all the old logos and artwork and stuff like that. Just so people kind of know where they're coming to if they haven't visited the channel for a while. But yeah, I thought if I'm going to change the name, it has to be done sooner rather than later, because if I ever do make it up to 80, 90, 100,000 subscribers and then changing them, it's going to be a bigger deal than just changing it now. So it had to come sooner rather than later, and you just have to bite the bullet and jump in. So I mentioned at the start of the video that the AgingJedi name wouldn't be disappearing altogether. And it won't. For a start, well, I've got it printed on this hoodie. I paid good money for this, and I'm not chucking it out just because I've changed my name. No, we don't do stuff like that in Yorkshire. We get our money's worth out of things. So that's certainly going to be sticking around. And also, if you look at my Twitter handle, @AgingJedi, I have no plans to change that. That's staying there. So it's just MarkGFL @AgingJedi. And that's going to stay. And also, the YouTube URL is always going to be AgingJedi. That's my URL for my channel. And I don't want to get rid of all that. It's part of the history of the channel. It's part of the history of me. It's how I started. It's my background. And I don't want to get rid of it entirely at all. So yes, you're going to see a bit of an interval period coming up where some things change, logos and artwork and stuff. It'll take a little while, I think, before I've tracked everything down and that I've forgotten to change so far and things switch over. And of course, I'm not going to switch over completely straight away on some of the banners on Facebook and YouTube and stuff, so people don't get confused coming back to the channel. But it will, over a period of months, I suppose, get completely replaced. But AgingJedi will always be a part of me of the channel, and it'll always be there somewhere in the background. So folks, I hope that kind of explains my thoughts and the reasons behind why I've changed the channel name, and I hope it makes sense to you guys too. But the good news is that the content won't be changing. I'm still going to be doing the World of Tanks content, and I still plan to cover other games this year, and of course stream on Twitch when I finally get fully set up and some time put aside to actually devote to that. So all things are going to be changing for the better, and I know some of you are going to be sad to see the old logo and the name go, but overall I think it's going to be a good thing, and well, let's hope I'm right in that, eh? Anyway, thanks for watching today. Do leave your comments down below, because I might answer some of the questions you have in next week's viewers' comments due out on Monday, and I look forward to hearing what you think about things. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll catch you next time.